Yeah, this is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the card. Coming with the flow, straight from the barrio. And coming with the heat to the damn street. You know what I'm saying? Coming with the facts, the crack backs, the boom bip to the line ass slip, the flow from the barrio. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is PBNN, Point Black National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well. Because this is what we must do as we see. Now, today, we're still on the same situation with Zelensky, you know what I'm saying, and the Russian situation as we see, you know what I'm saying. And in most of what we're seeing, with Zelensky's explaining, this to Trump, talking about he visit Ukraine and so forth on, you know, we see Donald Trump, you know, to visit Ukraine after the former president, you know what I'm saying, claims he could, take care of the situation. You know what I'm saying? But when we look at many of what is going on, you know what I'm saying, you know, we look at where he's explaining that, I will have that war settled in 1 day, 24 hours, so on. Trump saying we spoke about before. I'll meet with Putin, you know what I'm saying? I'll meet with Putin and I'll meet with Zelensky. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way you handle a situation such as what Trump is talking about. You know what I'm saying? You have to meet with both sides, such as we see in this situation. And he say they both have weaknesses and they both have strength. And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. You know what I'm saying? Zelensky comments came, came in the situation, after Ukraine tops commander last week, warned, from what we're seeing, they warned um, the war had entered a stalemate. And as he is fighting to maintain his hard-won support, which I don't think he should have gotten in the first place, if you ask me. What kind of support is that of a war that's taking people's lives, and enter, a stalemate, come on. I mean, because he's saying as he is fighting to maintain his hard-won support in the world, in a world distracted by conflict in the Middle East. Well, that's what the Middle East conflict seems to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? Again, people's lives are being lost. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And we're not distracted by the conflict in the Middle East because we know that the conflict in the Middle East has two sides to each story. Both are invaders of Africa and both are invaders of that area, such as the Arabs and so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? But under one regime, we have under the Palestinian, we have a military regime. Really, you know what I'm saying? It's like a military type, court and everything. So the Palestinian people has that on their shoulders as well, coming from the different regime that is running the Palestinian people based on that situation. Now, when we look at the other side, we have an invader and an occupation that was put there in itself to do exactly what they're doing now. As they populated the area, then they're telling their people to now become part of their military to maintain in the future and down the line this garbage that is going on. You know what I'm saying? And when we look at it, you know what I'm saying, you know, everybody's occupied with the Middle East, but we're not occupied with the Middle East. We need a ceasefire in that situation. You know what I mean? We don't need to see this war continue down this long-winded road. You know what I'm saying? And we see the U.S. lawmakers divided over whether to continue funding Ukraine war efforts. I don't think it should be funded any further. Ukraine military chief general, I guess his name is Valeria something, wrote in a long essay, for the economists, that just like in the First World War, we have reached a level of technology that put us into a stalemate. Well, what did you expect? Ukraine military chief, wrote in his essay, while the Ukraine has resisted Russia's full slate invasion, no, Russia did not put a full slate invasion. No, they did not. And the only way for you to have gotten any type of stalemate in the first place had come from the support of the United States. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we look at that, that should not be. There should not be no pushing of war across our planet continuously every time we turn around. While Ukraine has resisted Russia's full invasion, for more than 20 months. Zelensky, or whatever his name is, wrote that without massive technology leap to break the deadlock, there there will most likely be no deep and beautiful breakthrough. And we understand that because, in other words, it should not be going on. In more ways than one, it still come out to the same thing. And then you have here where they're saying we can't trust terrorists. We're not trusting even your asses, but convincing his allies of possible victory is becoming increasingly difficult for Zelensky as the world attention, pivots to war in the Middle East and the arms, the Middle East, and amid a warning from Congress that the U.S. funding for Ukraine may soon dry up. In more ways than one, we must understand that these wars are deep state wars in itself. How can we have a group of people every time we turn around putting us in warlike conditions and expect the whole wide world to pay for the bill? Same as we saw what happened in Germany. Same thing happened. Who you think paid for the German war? The American people's pocket. And depopulated hundreds of millions of people. The White House has made it clear that the amount of money the U.S. has available for Ukraine military, we shouldn't have no money for their military. This is coming out the American people's money. Let's just be honest. This is coming out their money. Yeah, this is coming out their money. It's quickly running out. We see Speaker Mike Johnson and the Senate remains at odds over, Biden administration. Biden administration requests to pass more than 100 billion in national security funding. It's not national security. It's funding for Ukraine and the Russian war and the whole bullshit that's going on over there that should not be going on in the first place. The Biden administration has pulled the United States into something that we do not want a part of and we should not be supporting with our money in the first place. If Zelensky wants to fight a war against Russia, he should have had his money put together, not trying to convince the American people under a NATO criminal organization agreement to fund a war against a nuclear nation that could literally cause annihilation of many people on both sides of the stick, regardless, with Zelensky in the middle playing this bullshit game along with the creep Joe Biden family and the rest of the idiots. You know what I'm saying? But he said they are at odds with the administration request to pass $100 million of American people's money, taxpayers' money, in national security funding. Creepy ass Joe Biden president urged Congress to pass a supplement bill which would include 6.4 billion for Ukraine and a 14.3 billion for Israel. Two invasions of itself or two wars sparked in the Biden administration uh, 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 time in office, and now we are being sucked dry of the money. Say you have money for war, but you ain't got no money to feed the poor. Isn't that telling the American people now, for once in their life, that something is deadly wrong in our government that should not be going on based on any war or any type of situation like this? You know what I'm saying? Look at the money that's being spent and look at the money and where it is going. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about as a comprehensive bipartisan agreement. How can there be a bipartisan agreement when the people don't agree? Bipartisan with whom is the question. Zelensky argued that Ukraine fight against Russia is in U.S. national security interest. No, it is not. That is another lie that they're trying to pass off in the deep state bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He told NBC that the American soldiers could eventually be dragged into a broad European conflict with Russia if Washington doesn't support. No, we are not. No, we're not. What we have to do is get rid of the Biden administration and their fucking deep state garbage and the rest of their conglomerates that's running with them out of our government and relook at this situation for a better, comprehensive, you know what I'm saying, a better solution to this war. You know what I'm saying? He's saying if Russia will kill all of, he's saying, in other words, he's saying, support, you know what I'm saying, uh, 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 I guess he's saying Washington support if Russia, I guess he's saying with Russia, if Washington doesn't, facilitate, you know what I'm saying, help them out. You know what I'm saying? If Russia if Russia will kill all of us, you know what I'm saying, they will attack NATO countries and well NATO countries are in a criminal agreement. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure all the people in their country do not agree with that situation in itself. And we know that. You know what I'm saying? There is no way that you're going to sit here and tell me that you're going to support a war that can literally cause annihilation of human lives across, and not only annihilation of human life, but the annihilation of animals, trees, environment, and a whole lot more in this situation. They act as if, like, when they speak of these wars, that is not harming the planet in its fullness, but yet still talking about equality, talking about peace, talking about all kinds of goody two shoes words that they use that does not show any example of what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? In itself. So he's saying, you know what I'm saying, that Russia will kill us, you attack NATO countries and will send your sons and daughters and will be, and it will be, I am sorry, but a price will be higher. The price is already high, Zelensky, you jackass. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? But Congress is reluctant to approve an additional spending. Congress should not approve any spending at all. This is what I'm talking about when they pull us into these things, and you're seeing our sons and daughters, and you're seeing the U.S. How did all of us in the U.S. agree to this NATO criminal organization bullshit in the first place? Is the question that must be asked. You know what I'm saying? It must be asked. You know what I'm saying? Relented to approve additional spending for Ukraine comes as a number of Republican president candidates and other Western officials have argued that Ukraine should enter a peace negotiation with Russia to bring the war to an end. And that is what should happen because it should not happen in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Zelensky, who has long opposed the idea of peace, why is he the one to negotiate any fucking form of peace when he's getting 4 point something trillion dollars? He's getting, mega money at $14.3 billion, 6.4 billion for Ukraine, 14.3 billion for Israel, both in the criminal organization and apartheid regime in itself to me. Because what Zelensky is doing to Russia, you know what I'm saying, Russia could annihilate them with one shot. So apparently you are now facilitating a war that is actually putting everybody in harm's way, but you're still talking about a bipartisan understanding. Where are the American people and their power in the fact of ending this war or bringing any type of these wars, even with the occupational criminal people in Israel, criminal occupation in Africa, renaming it Israel, breeding up a bunch of people, and then saying that those people, those children, those that call themselves Israelis, joining the war to oppress the Gazan people, breaking in their homes, you know what I'm saying, at will, feeling they could arrest anybody they want to, and so on and so on. Same thing we see on the opposite side with the Palestinian and the rule that is ruling the Palestinian people based on Hamas, based on different groups that is using military court to even go. And then the lawyers that are used in the military court in Palestine are not Palestinian people. Many of them are Israelis who are now calling themselves, a lawyer for the Palestinian people when this shit happens. You know what I'm saying? So we know the Arabs and the occupational criminal people that moved into that spot has now disrupted the whole aspect of life in itself. Bombs are being dropped, people are being killed, girls are being raped, children are being raped, and all type of pedophilia, nastiness, and vulgarness continues. Same as we see in Sudan and Ethiopia and any of that region in which they want to control rather than bring peace to the region and settle out this shit in itself. You know what I'm saying? So we see that Ukraine is talking about Republican presidential candidates. What do they have to do it over the American people? They should not be ruling the American people decision based on an invasion and based on a criminal setup of a war between nuclear nations. You know what I'm saying? Where's your mind when it comes to the planet, the people, and everything else, even the environment, dropping these bombs and disrupting the very aspect of the ecosystem we call here on Earth, saying life sustaining, you know what I'm saying, in itself. So when we look at the fact that Zelensky, who has long opposed an idea of peace, how can he do that? He's denying peace talks. He told NBC, I am not ready to speak, you know what I'm saying, with terrorists because that you are a fucking terrorist. What the fuck is Zelensky talking about? You are a terrorist in itself. You are supporting a nuclear war. Matter of fact, you are joining a criminal organization going by the name of NATO nations, all criminals, you know what I'm saying, to support a war that can literally annihilate him, his country, America, and Russia, and many other people will suffer in this path. Same as we see in the Gaza Strip. You know what I'm saying? These people call themselves, Biden and them, call themselves creating Israel. They created that and invade Africa, enslaved the black people, moved them out, murdered them off, and then allowing Arabs and everybody to occupy that area, renamed it, and breeding children and having them involved in this criminal shit of a deep state motherfucking game. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start looking at this. Zelensky should have no reason to tell anyone that he does not agree with a peace talk. Talking about he peace talk. I'm not ready to speak, with terrorists. You are a fucking terrorist in yourself. How not? You tell me. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying I'm not ready to speak with terrorists because their words is nothing. Your words is shit. Fuck what their words is. Your word is garbage. And we're going to tell you to your fucking face, Zelensky, you garbage. And the people of Ukraine needs to remove him from office. He should have been impeached or kicked out a long time ago. So you're agreeing right along with it because the people of Ukraine is not standing up. We know the different things that go on based on Russia and these different nations, but they have to govern their nations. You know what I'm saying? You have many criminal people that are over there calling themselves a part of this shit with no aspect of truth right, and justice in no form at all. They all do criminal shit. That goes for the United States and our leadership that you elected with your hand to do your bidding. It still comes out to the same thing. And he's talking about, I'm not ready to speak with terrorists. You are fucking terrorists in yourself. We can't trust terrorists. You're a terrorist, and we damn sure can't fucking trust you because you talking about some motherfucking criminal organization called NATO. You know what I'm saying? Talking about we can't trust because terrorists always come back. Always come back. Yeah, because you've been doing a whole bunch of garbage. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? We even see American millionaires couple, American millionaire couple, funded Marxist group coordinating anti Israel protests. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is the type of shit that they do. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of shit that they do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this is going on that should not be going on because the American people seems to be divided on making a honest and true decision as to what your government is doing in your name. You know what I'm saying? Even when we look at Bill, the nasty ass Gold Gates, Baphomet having worship, devil worship sucker, you know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing we have in our country. We have a Luciferian group of people that's in our country using our shit against us and saying that they created it. You know what I'm saying? When all they did was invaded it and now saying that it's them, not us. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it goes in all ways. You know, say he's accused, building the nasty ass gold Baphomet worshiping devil worship gates. You know, saying he's accused of buying up land and threatening small American farmers under the guise of saving the planet. Of course. You know what I'm saying? They always give you the good words. Oh, we're going to save the planet, equality, you know, the civil rights, this, that, and the third, when in actuality, none of it manifests in its trueness because that's not what they're saying to you. They're only giving you the words that you want to hear, period. Yeah, and that's not what it's saying. We see Bill Gates was recently accused of buying up American land and threatening small farmers under the guise of saving the planet. He's gonna save shit. He wants to buy up all the farmers so he can threaten your food. You know what I'm saying? And feed you poisonous shit, such as what they did in Africa when they call themselves doing a humanitarian aid. You know what I'm saying? Many times in Africa, they call themselves doing humanitarian aid, sending seeds and sending shit to plant food and shit like that. When you look, the seeds are biologically made in order for the crops to fail in the first place. This is a Bill Gates type group. You know, he's threatening small farmers under the guise of saving the planet, which he is not. The concern allegations were made by authors and investigative journalists, you know what I'm saying, Simius Berner, in a new book. Oh, yes, the new book should definitely explain. I think that people should get that book and read it, you know, according to Berner, you know what I'm saying, Billy Nasty as Bill Gates, Baphomet worshiper, you know, invested billions of dollars into fertilizers, which he used to send to Africa, bullshit fertilizer, which make the crop fail, fake meats, which will poison our body and totally destroy our infrastructure as a human body is concerned, American farmland, not to save the planet, but rather to enrich his own bank account. Berner also noted that Billy the Goat Gates Baphomet worshiping deep state son of a bitch, you know what I'm saying, latest business venture is doing more to facilitate his net worth than eliminate carbon emission. As the 68-year-old Microsoft founder billionaire, what the fuck is he doing in farming? What the fuck is he doing in our medical field? Nobody's asking these questions, nor is the investigation coming. The American people must start to speak up. You know what I'm saying? You are not speaking up to the bullshit that is going on. First, it was, you know, the patented seeds and, you know what I'm saying, patented fertilizer. And now, you know what I'm saying, they are patenting meat alternatives. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the people don't seem to love the farmers enough to get fresh food, fresh vegetables, and fresh produce. You busy want to eat garbage and die. You know what I'm saying? Banning cattle, you know what I'm saying, with grants effort, you know what I'm saying, in the monopoly, I guess monopolies to the banning cattle and so forth to the alternative protein company and benefit investors such as Billy the Nasty Ass Deep State Go Gates. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Bezos. You know what I'm saying? The one who controlled the media in itself. You know what I'm saying? Jeff the Not God Bezos. You know what I'm saying? Not a jackass in our world. How is these people having more talk than the American people? And he's up there grinning, looking like Bill Gates is in this picture, grinning like a jack fucking dumbass. Yeah, I get away with it. Y'all is stupid. He also benefiting people like Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, and even Black Rock Burner continues. You know what I'm saying? Fake meat and fake meat are about fake meat are about controlling the food market, not saving the planet. You know what I'm saying? And that's 100% true. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest.